Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Cowboys make controversial addition to offense to finally unlock Dak Prescott. The Dallas Cowboys have had an off-season of change. Well, at least in the coaching department. As new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer prepares his staff for the upcoming season, the focus remains one thing above all others: justify Dak Prescott's record-breaking, $60 million APY contract signed last September. Breaking from a QB-intensive motif, Schottenheimer chose former Arizona Cardinals offensive line coach, Clayton Adams, as the team's next offensive coordinator. Investing in the offensive line is never a bad decision, but it certainly raised some eyebrows considering other options on the table. One of those options, Ken Dorsey, the recently fired ex-Cleveland Browns and Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator, was expected by many to have another crack at the OC whip come this hiring cycle, but alas, nothing came about. Despite looking past Dorsey for their coordinator position, the Cowboys have managed to finalize a deal to bring the former Brown to Dallas to join their offensive staff, but per Cherry Williams of Pro Football Talk, a role is currently not disclosed. Dorsey's role on Brian Schottenheimer's staff is yet to be determined. The Cowboys initially hired Schottenheimer as a coaching analyst in 2022, so it's possible Dorsey starts in a similar role with the Cowboys. Or maybe he's the hire for their quarterback's job, which is not yet filled. Dorsey, 43, interviewed for the offensive coordinator position that went to Clayton Adams. The Browns fired Dorsey as their offensive coordinator after the season. Cleveland finished the season 28th in yards and 32nd in points. While Dorsey was not the team's play caller to begin the year, he took over the role midway through the season. Although, as Williams notes, Dorsey's tenure in Cleveland was less than successful, with the Browns ranking as one of the worst offenses in the NFL, there is perhaps more than meets the eye. Dorsey was working with one of the statistically worst QBs in the league for the majority of the season in Deshaun Watson, and then was subsequently thrown to the wolves with the combination of the entertaining, but error-prone Jameis Winston, followed by the barely backup-level Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Dorsey called the plays at the Browns, a job that head coach, Kevin Stefanski, has taken back, for now, but was still playing very much in Stefanski's offensive scheme with below-par offensive weaponry. The now Cowboys assistant had a more fruitful time in Buffalo, where he led quarterback, Josh Allen, to one of his and the team's more impressive seasons, 13-3, before a heavy regression in 2023, where the team started 4-4, after which Dorsey was fired mid-season. Whilst he has had some minor outbursts that could be deemed character issues by some, prior to taking over as Bills' offensive coordinator, Dorsey was widely regarded as one of the best up-and-coming offensive minds in all of football, with many tapping him to be a head coach in the not-too-distant future. Cowboys draft CeeDee Lamb a lethal 6-5 partner. The Dallas Cowboys will enter the offseason with needs at about every position as the franchise looks to build a capable roster under first-time head coach Brian Schottenheimer. With needs everywhere, the Cowboys could go in any direction at the NFL draft with running back, receiver, defensive line at the top of the wish list. Boise State's Ashton Jeanty looms as a possibility, but thanks to Saquon Barkley, who has made the running back fun again, Ashton might not last until pick 12. As such, in NFL.com's latest mock draft, given the abundance of quality running backs in this class, the Cowboys get CeeDee Lamb some much-needed help in Arizona's Tetairoa McMillan. Dallas takes the top player still on the board in McMillan, whose 6'5" frame, long strides and strong hands make him a threat down the sideline, in the red zone and over the middle, NFL.com writes. McMillan is coming off a stellar 2024 campaign that saw him haul in 84 receptions for 1,318 yards and 8 touchdowns en route to being named first-team All-Big 12 and being one of the finalists for the Biletnikoff Award for the best receiver in college football. A great yards-after-the-catch receiver who has the strength and agility to be a weapon in open space, McMillan can create mismatches due to his position flexibility, not to mention that 6'5" frame, which would give Dak Prescott a genuine red zone threat. So while Janty looms as the shiny pick for the Cowboys, getting Lamb some help in the receiver room could be just as beneficial, and in McMillan, Dallas gets a player who could add instant impact to the passing game. Could Cowboys sign Super Bowl standout to replace Zack Martin? The Dallas Cowboys have a crucial offseason ahead of them. Indeed, owner Jerry Jones' team already encountered some major change before the calendar turned from January to February. That change came from the team's decision to move on from Mike McCarthy as head coach and promote offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer to that post. The first-time head coach has worked quickly to assemble a strong staff around him in recent weeks. While some final names trickle in for the coaching staff, Dallas shifts gears to some necessary personnel moves for the 2025 season. Micah Parsons' contract extension is front of mind in that regard, with the defensive superstar expected to get his deserved payday this summer. But there are other areas that need actual improvement, namely at wide receiver and running back. Most analysts project Dallas targeting solutions early on in April's NFL draft. Staying on the offensive side, the Cowboys will also need to see progress from their offensive line. That is to be expected as they touted 2 rookie starters across the formation in 2024. Next season though, they may have to find that progress without one of their tenured veterans. While he has not publicly announced his retirement, right guard Zack Martin very well could be done at the Star, meaning the Cowboys will have to work to find a replacement for the future Hall of Famer. A useful replacement may be found on the free agent market. Kansas City Chiefs right guard Trey Smith, heralded as one of the best free agents available this offseason, could a major pickup for the Cowboys. Smith played in all 17 games for the Chiefs this season and earned his first selection to the Pro Bowl. Given his impressive resume though, Dallas will not have such an easy path to get him. Multiple sources have indicated that the Chicago Bears will be a player for Smith as Kansas City tries to hold on to their prized lineman. What does that mean for the Cowboys? Based on what they have shown in recent seasons, it is up for debate whether the Cowboys pursue any marquee free agents at all. Meanwhile, Jones and Cowboys brass posit that the team is focused on winning now, not rebuilding. Smith is an extremely useful replacement for Martin and would represent a move that shows a commitment to winning.